What's up, MGR listeners? We're back at it again, bringing you some reviews. I know it's been a hot minute since we've done some content. We are definitely getting more free time on our hands, but we have been playing video games, so we're going to give you a couple of insights on some games we've been playing. We have Outriders, we got the new Resident Evil Village, and Returnal. So we're going to jump right into it, and we're going to talk about Outriders. Bobby, go.
Disappointed.
That's a good word.
So there was a lot of hype going into this game. I felt like there was a lot of opportunity for this game to be really big and have a lot of fans jump on this game, but it felt like there was just a steep drop towards the end game, and I was extremely disappointed. What do you think?
I mean, I wanted to like the game. I feel it started strong with me. I was definitely interested. The story was a bit captivating at first. I was like, all right. You know, the demos got me interested, and I was like, all right, let's go through it. So, you know, initial gameplay thoughts, graphics look great, story's good, cinematics good, gameplay's fun. You know, it's not too much for your gamer to really get into, you know, with so many different combinations and buttons and, you know, combos or whatever you want to call it. So I thought, good start. But boy, oh boy, as you progress, does it take, I mean, and let's just throw away all that crap about connection issues. Okay. We're just going to leave that on the side for now, but it feels like we have another Square Enix game where it was rushed out. Now, I can't say that for true. I'm not in the studio. I'm not sitting there programming with these guys, but to me, it feels like, what was it? The Avengers, right? They did the Avengers.
Yes.
You know, good, solid concept, completely falls flat though. Like, don't rush the game. Why you got to rush the game? I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree. I felt like there was a lot of potential for this game to have some good content, a lot of different people trying to get into this game, but it just felt like, okay, hey, now that we're done with the game, let's just get it out there. And there was just no after end game content. And if you're going to produce a game like this, that's going to give you a lot of opportunity to become bigger than it really is. I know there's a plan in place for this game to be big in 5 years, but why does it have to be where I play this game for a good month and then I have to wait another 6 months for some more content? It just doesn't make sense to me. I feel like there should be a good progress system to the story and to the content, but it's just, what else is there to do now? I'm pretty much level up all my gear. I have done pretty much all the areas to explore. What else do I need to do? I just don't think it's a very good concept, and it fell flat real fast.
And I know you said, you know, it took us a good month to get to the end game. Do you think they calculated the fact that, hey, let's make connection issues a problem so it can extend our time to get these people to keep playing? Because let's be real, if we didn't have the issue of trying to log in for over an hour or 2 hours pretty much daily, we would probably have finished in 2 weeks.
Yeah, the first week we weren't able to get to a game together or just do anything. It was just kind of one of those frustrations where we would just kind of say, hey, when you have time, play. Whenever I had time to play, we couldn't ever like get together and play for the first week. I would definitely say a week and a half before we even got to play with each other. So it was definitely a frustrating aspect of the game that I didn't expect. I don't think anybody should expect when you first play the game. Yeah, maybe a day or two to have those kind of experiences, but for a whole week, for that point, I feel like this game is not even playable. And for me to have that kind of, or anybody to have that kind of experience the first week, I'm sure there were some people who just said, you know what, I'm done with this game.
Oh, so I guarantee you there's a lot of people that just picked up and moved on. And I honestly don't blame them. It was very frustrating. You know, they turned off crossplay. We have friends that play, you know, on different consoles and PC, and they were just like, all right, let's go play Outriders. Oh, wait, we can't.
Yeah.
And I mean, where's the fun in that? And then on top of that, like, you know, sitting there and, you know, watching the screen going, signing in, and it doesn't sign in. You have to close down the app. You go back in, you try to sign in again. It's just nonstop. I was literally playing other games while I was trying to sign into this game. And I mean, that is one of the most frustrating things. And the fact of the matter is, I mean, granted, they finally fixed the sign-in thing, but for the love of God, we still cannot play a game together. We literally went in today to try and play some of the game for footage, and within 47 seconds, you were kicked from my game, and then I get into your game, and we had what, like 3-4 minutes before I got kicked from your game.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. I don't think I've ever experienced this kind of frustration with connection issues ever in my life. Usually it's pretty solid from the beginning. Or hey, if you get into a game with connection issues, it's kind of like a worldwide issue where, you know, they're doing server maintenance or whatever. It's an understandable reasoning behind it.
Yeah.
This time around, it's more like, hey, a month later, we're still having connection issues, and that is unacceptable. I'm sorry, but that is so bad. I can't even explain. And I don't know where the future is for this game. I don't know what stuff they have coming along.
Is there a future for this game anymore, you think? I mean,
if this
I'm kind of curious if anybody else is actually playing it right now. I mean, let me know if you want to keep playing it, because to me, it got uninstalled today. I took it off the PlayStation 5. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's right now, it's not even worth having. It really isn't. I mean, it's great to play for a little bit, and it's great to be able to play with friends for, you know, other than Warzone and you know, sports games. But this is by far one of the worst connection games I've ever played in my life. I don't think I ever want to put it back on again.
And I mean, for a linear gameplay type of game, I still enjoyed working through the progression of the story. You know, the different zones and all that. But like you said, when we get to that end game, it's all flat.
Yeah, I just felt like it was, honestly, at this point, I feel like it was a waste of time. I got to the end of the game, and I don't even feel like any, you know, I don't feel like I really did much. I really felt like I got frustrated to try and connect, and it was just one of those things that I wasted my time with. And that's where I'm at right now. So,
and I mean, even with, you know, most games these days, which are typically loot grinds for the most part, you know, I'm sitting here and thinking like, all right, so now that I have all the loot, what's next? And there's nothing next.
nope,
You
nope.
know, nothing at all. Like,
there's
I mean,
no daily challenges, there's no weekly challenges, there's no raids, there's no things to kind of entice us to keep playing. So it's just like uninstall. So
uninstall. I mean, let's give them credit though. I still think they did pretty well with the story. I still think the graphics were solid, but to me, this seems another one of those moments where, you know, the studio's like, we got to get it out there. We're losing money. Let's get some of our money back. And what you're doing there is you're devaluing your product. You're literally letting that product go out there without any legs to stand on for the future of the product. I mean, granted, you know, it could make a comeback in a year or two, but I honestly see this being a bargain bin game that I can get at GameStop for $10.
Yeah. If that for free at this point, really, that's the only way I could see this game.
And I mean, like Square Enix, yo, you need to step it up. I mean, come on, you guys had the Final Fantasy series. They also do what, Kingdom Hearts, right? Like, you were kings. Bring it back. Like, take your time. You know,
I don't know what happened. Don't know what happened. And
sustainability is important in the gaming world.
Yeah, and you can definitely see it when the Avengers came out and we played it, and it was the same feeling. You know, it's just like, what are we doing at this time, at this point? So I don't see it getting any better. I understand that there was some, you know, opportunity because of the pandemic, people were at home to play.
Yep.
But you can't just give us this crap. So
no.
Not happy about that. So
sorry, guys. I wish I could say I had better things to say about Outriders, but this one is just not good.
If I had to give it a score, I'll give it a 4, just because I felt like it was just, what did I do? I don't know. It was one of those things.
I think that's a very, very fair evaluation, you know, and it annoys me because, like, I know how much work these developers, the people that actually work on the game, put the time into, and it's just the big wigs that say, "I need more money. Give me my money now. I want my money." You know?
Yeah, 100%. And I hope they have something for the future. Who knows? Maybe we could do a Outriders, a UN review with more stuff and more content out there. It's something that's more positive. But right now, can't.
I mean, they got our money, so maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
Let's get into games we actually like, though. So why don't you kick us off with Resident Evil: The Village?
Hey, what a fantastic game! I loved it because it brought me back to, you know, the original Resident Evil games. There was definitely some cool scenes that I get to enjoy. Fight scenes, story was pretty well explained, and I think that I can't wait till the next story. It's going to continue on with with Rose, and I think that I am excited to see where the story leads. It's definitely refreshing because I do think sometimes the zombies can be overplayed, but now there's a um, different types of enemies to kill, like lichens and vampires. So
Yeah, they're definitely bridging out on this one, aren't they?
yeah, and I think they did a really good job with it. I know it's not as original, but I like the idea of where they're going because there's so much story to be talked about.
What actually brought you to the village? Like, why are we going to this scenery for Resident
Yeah, so the great thing about it follows from Biohazard. So you have the same character. You have Mia, who is you have Mia, you have Ethan Winters, and then now with Ethan and Mia, having a happy family, and they kind of left the United States, and they had a baby called Rose. And we found out more about Ethan. We found a little bit more about Mia, and Chris comes in and does some crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't want to spoil it, but Chris does some crazy stuff, and he takes Rose away, and we got to go and find her. They get into an accident outside the village. We go and find Rose in the castle, and there's a lot to explore. From going from the lady. I'm sorry to say, from the big tall lady. I'm not good with French.
Did Mr. Dracula?
Yeah. So, and then you have there's so many other protagonists, not protagonists, but antagonists out there that I felt like were really cool to fight against. Different elements, different characters, but it was definitely a fun game to play, and I like that there's different puzzles. I don't think there's as much horror this time around, which was kind of disappointing on that point, but it makes
still scary moments, obviously, right?
Yeah, there's still some scary moments. I was expecting more horror, but I think that it went back to the basics of what made Resident Evil a great game, which was puzzles, looking for ammo, because it's really hard to find ammo, looking for gems in very weird areas that I would never be able to find gems if I wasn't just looking around. You can definitely get through this game in maybe 5 hours if you're trying to just kind of get through the story. But if you're looking to find other gear, you're looking to loot for money, for different weapon parts and stuff like that, you're gonna be spending about 15 hours, 10 to 15 hours. I think it took me about 12 hours to finish the game, just because I was going through each area, looking around, looking for something to find. And I think I got a lot of progress done, which was pretty nice. But I don't think I nearly had found everything, just because of how many weapons I have to still upgrade. So it's about 12 hours long, and it's definitely really cool to go back and replay it. You get to unlock infinite ammo. You get to unlock different weapons you're not able to play until the very end. So there's some replayable things here, and I really enjoyed it.
I mean, my last Resident Evil experience that I truly remember would be Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. And Nemesis always just chasing you around. It's like, oh shit, I gotta run. Were there any oh shit moments like that for you?
Oh yeah. So especially when you're in the castle and you're trying to find these different masks to put on these statues, and every time you go through a corner, you have the pretty tall lady coming around through the doors.
Lady D, bro.
Lady D. And she could, anyway. So so she would come out and pop out of nowhere. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta run. And you can't kill her. You just kind of have to run away. So so it makes you want to find these masks pretty quick, especially throughout the castle, and trying to find the right keys. That's another thing. You have to find a bunch of keys after keys, just so you can get into more doors. So but that was pretty much my whole shit moment. Is pretty much trying to run away from her, because she can catch up. She can move.
Yeah.
She's
pretty tall too. So yeah. I mean, long steps.
Yeah. The boss fights are not as difficult as I thought they would be. Now, I was playing on standard, so couldn't expect any harder. But once I get into hardcore, I can't imagine how much harder these guys are going to be. But I really like the game. I enjoyed it a lot, and I think that if you take the time and go through each room, look around, make sure you're not missing anything before you leave the room, you could definitely find a lot of items. And it didn't disappoint, that's for sure.
That's awesome. I mean, what do you feel overall score?
I'm gonna give it an 8. Definitely
8.
Yeah, definitely 8. Just because of the different elements of the story, with being more explained than what happened in Biohazard. I felt like it wasn't the perfect Resident Evil game, but there was room for improvement as far as just making the puzzles a little bit harder. I don't think you need to have to think too hard. A lot of the hints are right there in front of you, and I think that's what kind of maybe it wasn't as challenging as I thought. The little bit of the ammo, I felt like it was just a little bit too easy to find sometimes as well. I think again, if you look around, you can always have enough ammo. Maybe
I feel that's just for being on standard, because the one thing I've always realized with Resident Evil games is that the harder the difficulty, the more scarce the ammo.
Yeah. So the ammo was definitely there, and I'm really hoping let's see, maybe it's gonna be a little bit harder. Maybe I have to use my knife a little bit more. Who knows? But we'll see, man. I think it's I'm really excited to see what happens next in the story. They definitely open it up, and I think they're doing a better job of keeping that story rolling on than prior Resident Evil games. So
it did jump around a bit.
Yeah, but this one seems pretty solid. It looks like they have a story in place, and you're gonna follow it through this universe. And I'm looking forward to see what happens next. I mean, there's some really cool parts in this game that I really enjoyed. So
cool. Well, that is Resident Evil: The Village.
Yeah.
So let's get into the game I was playing while he was playing Resident Evil. I was playing Returnal. And boy, oh boy, was I in for a treat when I got into this one. This game blew me away. We saw it from the state of play. We did talk about that on state of play, and it was something very intriguing because it has a labyrinth type effect to it. So, I had a little bit of an idea, but then when I got into the game, I was kind of like, oh, I got to be smart now. So you basically come in as Celine. She's I believe it was Astra Scout. So she's like essentially a space exploring scout. And she, crash lands on this planet, and she's like, crap, I'm crash landed. I got to find a way out of here. And I believe within the first area or first two areas, I come across her dead body. She's like, what the hell? This is my dead body. How is my dead body here? And you then to begin to find out, like, she is essentially stuck in a time loop. Whatever if you want to think Groundhog Day, you want to think boss levels, but she is literally stuck in a time loop. And, every time you die, the scenery changes. It's phenomenal concept. So like,
would you say it's like what is it? Edge of Tomorrow?
Yeah. Even Edge of Tomorrow. Like I said, boss level is probably one of the best, I'd say is closest, but even Edge of Tomorrow, just because of the fact that the aliens in Edge of Tomorrow looked very similar to the aliens in Returnal, which is pretty cool. So you go through the first area, and you're literally destined to die right away. So don't think you're going to beat the guy. If you do beat the guy, let me know, because that's awesome. And then you come back and you're like, oh crap, I'm here again. Why am I here again? So your goal is to essentially figure out how to get off of that planet and how to get out of this time loop. Now, here's the key thing. There is no saving. So if you close the game where you're at, you're going back to the ship. Man. And there is a little way around it. You can put your PlayStation in rest mode, just leave it at the point. Whatever you do, make sure you go back to game and don't click on the game, because you'll just reload the game. I found that out once. That was kind of silly of me. But there are progression things that do save. So certain items that you pick up will save. Your weapon upgrades will save. And as you progress through the story, there are certain points in which you'll save, and you will not go back to the same exact ship you're at. I'm going to let you kind of figure that out later. I don't want to spoil it, but wow. Graphics phenomenal. Gameplay phenomenal. And it's just the whole concept of like a shifting labyrinth. So when you do die, you get to experience a whole different level. There are certain areas that are exactly the same, but there's also different aspects. You'll fight different creatures. As you level up your weapons, you'll get different weapons. So, they did a phenomenal job with pretty much everything. I just want to keep saying phenomenal because
phenomenal.
It's just so good. Mind blowing. Like, if they have downloadable content for this, you better believe I will shell out the money. That's good. And if you think about Outriders compared to like Returnal or Resident Evil, it's like, look what happens when you take your time. You do not rush stuff. When you rush stuff, you end up with Outriders. When you take your time, you end up with 2 gems.
Preach.
And like, that's what you got to do. And I mean, this is like, nobody ever saw really Returnal coming. I certainly didn't. I mean, if it wasn't for the state of play, I'd be sitting there twiddling my thumbs. I know we still have a couple other ones we want to check out, like Deathloop. But I mean, as far as the gun, like the actual gunplay is cool. The way you utilize your dodging abilities, the way you use your sword abilities. There's different things that you utilize, like essentially a grappling hook, water walking. So as you progress in the game, you'll be able to unlock areas that you wouldn't have earlier in the game too, which is really cool. So like when you're going through your gameplay, you're like, oh crap, I can't get to that area. Why can't I get to that area? Well, as you progress in the game, you're going to find the items that allow you to do that. So if you do die, you're going to be able to hit those areas, which is really phenomenal. Yeah. And the boss fights. Yeah, I'm going to keep saying phenomenal because apparently it's my favorite word today. I don't know, amazing. We'll go with amazing from here. But the boss fights were so unique. As a big World of Warcraft fan, I love a good boss fight. I do a lot of World of Warcraft raiding. I'm still raiding right now. As he's doing the review. Yeah. Awesome. Actually, I'm that's how phenomenal right John is. Yes. No, amazing now. I am not amazing. So the boss fights are very unique. They do present a challenge. The third boss fight was mind-blowing for me. It was very unique in the aspect that you had to use the grappling hook to go from like a platform to platform to fight this boss while dodging all this stuff. I mean, I was playing with one of my other friends and, I convinced him to get it. And then he went ham. When he got into it, he's like, yeah, I'm going to pass you real quick. That's how much he enjoyed the game. He was like, this is the type of game that you don't see coming. It's so unique. It's something that we need that's fresh. And in a world of so many video games out there, there's a lot of things about it that are very, I've seen that before. But when you come and you put all the pieces of the puzzle together, it's something so unique that you really just enjoy the gameplay for what it is. Like, I could sit there, not play it for 3 months, play one game of it, and I'll be like, oh my God, why did I stop playing this game? And I'm just, I'm so psyched for them to hopefully make more downloadable content. They do have a daily challenge mode, which I think is really unique. So in the gameplay footage that you're probably seeing over top of me talking right now, you're probably noticing like a little scoreboard or something like that. So that is the daily challenge. You basically, you get certain positives and negatives for, I can't even think of the word I want to say for it, but like, restrictions and whatnot for each challenge, and you'll see that. So in the challenge I did, the map is scrambled. I can't remember the other 2 afflictions or whatever they were, but like they give you souped up weapons. You can only use one weapon. You can only use like one item, and you do face some very difficult creatures. And the whole point of it is do not get hit. So if you don't get hit, you get a larger multiplier. The multiplier then puts you higher up on the points. And then when you get onto the scoreboard, you get to see where you rank, which is pretty cool. Something I feel like they just added that I didn't notice the first time is that you actually see the depth of other people playing the game. So like I was walking through and I was like, oh, what's this? And it's like, this person died here and it shows their online name. I'm like, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
No, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's definitely different. Yeah,
because I mean, Celine throughout the story finds her dead bodies. She keeps pulling up mission logs with her dead bodies. So like, that's how you understand the story progression and like what she's going through in the whole story. And
that sounds pretty neat, man.
You've got to play this game. I mean, it's difficult with the concept of like, don't die, because if you die, you're going back to the start.
Yeah,
but it's so worth it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it out. It sounds pretty good. I think, I mean, from what you've been telling me, when we've been going back and forth, it sounds really cool. I gotta try it out.
Yeah, I mean, what a game! For me, I'm gonna say it right now. It's a 10 to me. It is 100% a 10 for me. This is
game of the year candidate.
This is definitely game of the year candidate. The last game that really kind of had me flabbergasted, I believe, was Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah,
that was really good to me. Okay. It's above Ghost of Tsushima, and it's crazy considering like I can't say it's super simplistic gameplay, but it's not as advanced as Ghost of Tsushima was, but it keeps you interested because if you die, it's not the same landscape. Like, I don't feel like I'm going through the exact same thing every time.
But the thing is, do you really want to die? Kind of thing.
That's the thing, though. So you start getting smarter about it. You start learning how to play a little bit better. You start utilizing. So there's a lot of games out there that I play where I don't feel like I utilize all the tools that are given to me to survive. For me, I was very specific about what gun I wanted, what extra powers the gun had, what items that I wanted to use. So like I was really being smart about how I wanted to play each level. And you know, when I went into an area, if I saw a certain alien or boss or whatever that like I don't feel that the current items I could do would beat it, but hey, 3-4 doors back, I left an item on the ground. I'll literally go back and grab that because I didn't want to take the chance of dying. I mean, I made it through I think I was at 6 deaths before I finally got to the end. I can't say for my friend who said he's a little impatient. He's like, yeah, I'm at like 60. So he was just like blowing through it.
Yeah, that's most of us. Sometimes we just want to kind of get to the next stage. But if you have...
Well, the story was so intriguing, and there's like this Max Payne moment in the gameplay where you come into this house, and it's Celine's house. And as you progress through the story, if you die and you go back to the house changes and the stuff inside changes. So it's a little creepy too. I'm not gonna lie, it's very creepy. And I say it's a Max Payne moment because I remember when I played Max Payne, he'd have these moments, these flashbacks, these dark things, and you hear like the baby crying or whatever and what have you. So to me, like I had that kind of feeling with this game too, and I just thought, I don't know how you can make a more complete game. The only thing I could say is I felt it was a little too short. I think they were expecting people to die a lot more, like my friend over there. But wow, I just want to say, wow, it was amazing. It's amazing.
Good, I gotta try
play that game. If you like a challenge, if you truly like a challenge, play Returnal. It is so worth it. 100%.
How long did it take you said, to finish?
The thing of it is, when you die, you tend to want to go through and not just rush to the next area, because when you beat a boss and you unlock the next area, you don't actually have to go and face that boss again. You can literally go right to the next area. But if you do that, you're kind of shorthanding you because you're coming back with like lower health. You're not coming back with better items to get to that area. And you want to level up your weapon proficiency because your proficiency goes back down to 1 as well. So you really want to go through each area. You don't need to kill the boss. I don't recommend having to kill the boss. You can if you want to, but you want to clear the area so you get powered up. So then when you get to the next area, you're not getting it, right in the face. I mean, they do boost your weapon proficiency up pretty quickly. But for me, the important thing was having enough max health, because as you play the game, your max health is going to go up with items that you do pick up off the ground.
Okay. Sounds good, man.
Absolutely. So, I mean, hey, if you guys have played any of these games, Bobby's going to do his social media thing now.
Let us know what you guys think. All right. So you have Twitter, you have Instagram, you have Facebook. Go on there, comment, let us know what you guys think about any of these games. You can kind of bash Outriders if you want, or you can say how great the game was, because
I would actually like to know if somebody's really interested in sticking with Outriders, and please let us know why. Because I love to hear other perspectives. I'm not going to sit there and just completely shut it out. Even though it is uninstalled at the moment, it's just because PlayStation 5 doesn't have a lot of memory. Let's be real. And I just didn't want to take the spot. But like, if you can tell me a great reason why I should go back into it, I would love to hear it.
Yeah, definitely. And hey, if you like what we have, if you like what we like to talk about, just subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell so you can guys get alerts when our new episodes are coming in. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And you're out.
Peace.